I always wait until the house is empty before I practice the piano. I love playing, but I don't do it well. One day I was plucking away in happy solitude until I decided to play a certain Bach cantata, a favorite of my beagles, Cookie. Cookie appeared, plopped down near the pedals, and half closed his eyes, listening. I couldn't have been more flattered by a standing ovation at Carnegie Hall. Then disaster. I missed a note. I thought I could recover, but error had a domino effect. I started messing up all over the place. My fingers started to shake. I stopped breathing and started sweating, horrified that I was ruining Cookie's listening pleasure. In case you're not already marveling at the depth of my mental illness, allow me to reprise for you. I was reduced to a nervous wreck because I couldn't play the piano correctly for my dog. It was that day I finally admitted what I had become. I was not just a nice lady, not just a people pleaser. I was an approval whore. What have you worn in order to fit in with a group of people? When have you kept your opinions quiet to avoid a disagreement? Who knows, they can take advantage of all of your talents because you'll do absolutely anything to please them. Do you call yourself an approval whore? Martha Beck does. Thankfully, she also offers us some solutions on how we can get past the anxiety that comes with disapproval. The Halo Effect, an article by Martha Beck. We approval whores are people who will do just about anything to get the affirmation and acceptance of others. We're similar to crack whores, only more dysfunctional. At least drug-addicted prostitutes know they're not being virtuous when they sell themselves to get high. Approval whores like me, on the other hand, we tend to think we're being good, saintly, and angelic when we let others have their way with us in exchange for a hit of praise. People in our lives are likely to reinforce our sickness because we'll do pretty much anything to please them, and what's not to love about that? And here's why. Being dependent on approval is so dependent that we barter away all of our time, energy, and personal preferences to get it, ruins lives. It divorces us from our true selves, precludes real intimacy, and turns us into seething cesspools of suppressed rage. Of course, I mean that in a nice way. Don't be ashamed. A little social prostitution is virtually universal. However, if you're an approval whore, this may deepen your dysfunction to the point where your efforts to please become truly exhausting, and other people's appreciation less and less rewarding. If you're feeling drained or angry, it's time to get off the street. Learn to respect yourself. Give yourself the gift of the real you, clean and sober. What if every morning you asked yourself what you really, truly wanted to do that day, and then you did just that? Would you do things you don't enjoy with time you don't have? I didn't think so. Would you engage in activities you love, in the places you love, with the people you love? Oh yeah, that would be terrific. So do it. If this suggestion shocks you, if you're thinking, oh, I couldn't possibly, I regret to say you're a little on the trampy side. You've been selling your passions to fit somebody else's model of celebration. You probably think this is virtuous. I beg to differ. Acts of love, done in the absence of love, are obscene. Eliminate them from your life. Learn to tolerate the anxiety that comes when other people disapprove of you. Even I, one of the most hardened approval whores on earth, can do this. For example, when I lived in Southeast Asia, I was told that modest women always kept their heads down and their eyes on the ground. Let me tell you what I saw during my first 2 weeks in the exotic Far East. Dirt, 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 snail, and more dirt. And finally, I decided to hold up my head no matter what the locals thought of me. Women glared at me, men waggled their eyebrows, and occasionally other body parts. It was unnerving, but not as unnerving as assuming a posture that made me feel literally low. I vastly preferred being high on something much more nourishing than approval, and doing what felt right for me. I didn't lose my compulsion to seek social validation. Like any addict, I always want my drug. But I did learn to not let this desire overwhelm me. And here are some strategies I found helpful. First, clarify your own morality. Clearly define your own moral code and then stick to it. Right now, think of something you plan to do that you don't want to do. And then pretend that your best friend, rather than you, is the one contemplating this action. What would you say are her moral obligations? Don't think manners, think ethics. If you decide your unpleasant plans aren't moral requirements, but you do them anyway, you're pimping yourself out. Anything we do solely to please others in the absence of moral necessity or real desire is a way of selling ourselves and our lives, our energy. Ask yourselves, is the dose of approval you expect to gain worth losing a piece of the real you? All I ask is that you be aware that this is prostitution, not virtue. Second, get approval for getting disapproval. When I taught college level sociology, I used to assign students to pick a social norm that they thought was wrong or just plain silly, then deliberately violate it. The more disapproval they got, the higher their grade. Once they were pursuing my approval, not to mention that of 90 classmates, some of my most people-pleasing students became embodies of civil disobedience. The realization that they could tolerate social censure was a major liberation. Suddenly, these students felt free to be true to themselves, even when others condemned their actions. To do this, call a friend. Tell her you're going out to get some disapproval. Then, ask her to lavish you with praise afterwards. The genius of the technique is that whether or not you follow through with your intentions, somebody is going to disapprove. Learning to tolerate that could prevent a lifetime of selling out. Finally, agree to disagree. When we approval whores disagree with someone, we react by not reacting. Instead of voicing our real opinions, we smile, nod, make circumventing noises. Some of us don't voice our thoughts because we're afraid if we do, we'll lose our friends or family. And if this is true for you, if these people only accept you because you agree with everything they say, then they're not your friends or your family. They're just customers from whom you regularly obtain your favorite drug. Next time someone voices a thought that contradicts your own, don't play dumb. Voice your thoughts and see what happens. Now, at worst, you'll weaken a bond that wasn't authentic. At best, you'll discover that you can disagree with someone and still feel loved. This is the way to build genuine relationships. These strategies won't eradicate your desire for approval or the anxiety you feel when disapproval comes your way. What they will do is give you practice accepting these fears and anxieties without relinquishing your integrity. Ironically, I found that when I do this, I actually net more approval in the long run. I'm more fun to be around, and I do better work. And I get happily lost making my own kind of flawed, awkward music. Music that seems to sound sweetest when I forget to care who's listening.